Now we have to address productivity. I mean, we're implementing all of these changes to stay safe, keep at a safe distance, but how does that not impact the productivity in a warehouse?
Yeah, and that's key, right? We're talking about how do we keep our workers safe, but at the same time, how do we make those workers even more productive because they need to keep up with this surge in demand as a result of the pandemic. And I hate to repeat myself, but this is another area where modern mobile devices are going to help with that productivity. But someone's going to have to help me with a more modern analogy than the broken record because I definitely think I'm dating myself.
Hey, I know what you're talking about, Amanda, but are these the same devices that you spoke about earlier?
So they are, but now I'm specifically talking about wearable form factors like a mobile computer or a heads up display like Zebra's HD 4000 that I'm wearing here. And these devices paired with an application that can optimize warehouse management system data is really going to help increase that productivity. And Zebra's Fulfillment Edge is a perfect example of that. So in this mobile solution, a worker is going to be able to be hands-free to handle product and to scan barcode labels. They're going to have a wearable mobile computer like the WT6000, and that's either mounted on the wrist or connected to the hip. It's then connected to a heads up display like the HD 4000 and a wearable Bluetooth ring scanner like the RS5100. And instructions are going to be displayed through my line of sight, through the worker's line of sight, through the HD 4000. And this is important because it's going to minimize the need to, or I would say completely remove the need to interact with the device. And that's going to save time and it's going to minimize the need for in person onboarding because it's so easy and intuitive to use.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about what instruction is being presented and why is it so intuitive?
Right. And I'm going to keep my HD 4000 on for this example. So it's so intuitive because everything is visually driven. So in this example, let's take a worker who's picking from a flow rack. That flow rack is also graphically represented through the HD 4000. And the yellow boxes are indicating the items or the areas that need to be picked on that rack. Now, we tell the worker, scan anywhere on that rack. We're not making them, look and see, look for 567 and 567 on the barcode label and wasting that time. Scan anywhere. And even if you scan the wrong label, you're going to see a red X represented on that flow chart. And that acts as a great visual representation to say, okay, it's the box on the right. It's not that one where the X is. And now you can go scan that right label. It's going to pop up right on the on what you see through the screen, how many items to pick. Once those are picked, the worker's going to turn and look at their put bin where they're going to put those items away. And now that graphic interface is going to completely change to represent what we're seeing in the put bin. And it does that through an accelerometer in the device. So now once the worker is told what bins to put everything in, they scan to confirm that put and they're presented with the next task. So now when they move back to that flow rack, they're seeing again that change in screen and they know what the next task is to pick. And there's one more unique aspect of this solution about Fulfillment Edge is that it's connected to the WMS data and it's also pulling from the device data. So let's say the next pick for that order is across the warehouse. It can assign that pick to a worker that's in that zone. And I don't now need to walk and waste time and go all the way across that warehouse. I can stay and be picking for a different order while that assignment is tied to a worker in that other zone, which again, you can see how that's helping with maintaining social distance as well.